Buenas. Pues voy a continuar tal cual lo he dejado antes, que he tenido que cerrar abruptamente. Bueno, por un apagón, básicamente. No podía hacer otra cosa. Y a buscar a Ruby dentro del edificio este.
This isn't just glass. These are, yes, filament memories. From the how was a closely...
So it is. I think this used to form a single system, slotted in the wall. The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean. These? No.
All you'll find here. A mustachioed and mutton chop. Years worth of dust is shaken. Someone crouches.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. Half a century? This was probably part of the net. I think the purpose of this bunker, we have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinet,
Good hiding place for someone who's...
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. You mean like Ruby? No.
You feel something.
No. What do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. No, but you
You trust your gut feeling on this.
looks like our suspect. Once we detain a...
You will keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
I leave that to your judgment.
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
Well, we are not responsible.
Let's try not. If you can't predict it,
Okay, why not? Whatever goes...
not closely enough,
Yes, there won't be time for that once things go down.
if you must.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars?
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been
Or maybe not.
salvo porque creo que ahora hay bastantes posibilidades de que mueran.
The entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise is like a thousand.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move so you can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping
The voice coming from doesn't wish to be heard. No, honey, that's not good enough. You can't shield yourself from this. It's time.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner
The explosion of blasted from that pale emitter.
saw my equations. You've been sniffing through my book.
Probably check on him. It doesn't sound like he's too cold.
A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make signals are relayed across the series. So, what we're experiencing precisely. This is an industrial string. At the upper limit is the large.
She's been holed up in here for a while. Know what to do. Keep her to it. And you just might get the opportunity to break.
The tail, it's the end of the world. I don't get that. That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But oh yeah. Wait, no. Once I shut down the compressor. Oh, yeah. I stuck my head in there, but yeah, let's not talk about that shit. If you've got something really important. God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down.
She's carrying a two-bound well. It doesn't feel much better. Just keep her to it. The violet white noise becomes even more overwhelming as it's a compressor. It feels like your brain is buzzing.
Okay.
The pain.
What are you doing? Look, I know this isn't very fun for you, so let's wrap this up. You have a tribunal to attend. I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing you, so you found my
Sometimes bitter.
So nice. That's one night I didn't want to find. I was, before I touched.
Starving shit.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped save
So
you.
she says she didn't do it, because she doesn't trust you.
Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, you wouldn't have did it first. Oh, well, I guess I always knew, but she couldn't have known I was on the post. How did you find me? Oh, fuck. Took some How the fuck did the rest of you do it? Like what? I already told you I didn't do it. I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of luck. Do you think I was envious of his conquest? Look, this is not a problem for me. It's definitely not a reason to offer.
See her confidently. Her determined.
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like wild time spending in those.
Okay.
I'm listening. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered. You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time. Wow. Now I'm curious. Don't know it. But also, the shot couldn't have come from you. Or we would shoot at you.
That didn't go so well.
And? Sure don't. You still do. No.
This is something.
Yeah. Evidence. I consider her a good friend, yeah. I'm not following your clever. If I want to stare at a pretty girl, I can pick one up at a bar. Or, worst case scenario, look at a naughty photo. Nope. Look. She has an effect for the same reason that she's everyone's type. Go ahead.
And mine too. This must be her.
Who doesn't? Oh, the fuse pretty bomb too. It's very powerful. I used it. Yes, I'm sure. The exercise. Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. No. It's a... I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do anything based on what I've heard about you.
There's a sinister note in her voice.
Yeah?
More questions before doing anything.
Tribunal was an awfully fancy word for what they're doing. Now they're gonna put on a... And you. Watch out for yourself. I'm guessing you don't know that a third mercenary has come to town.
3 mercenaries, no doubt armed to the teeth, hungry for vengeance.
They're fair enough.
As I said, watch
The
out.
pain is becoming unbearable.
How should I know? As I keep saying,
Those rings are made by his radio.
who hasn't? You know, I can still... He was still warm.
She eyes him, refusing to adopt the demeanor of a corner.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. He sits down with a drink, trying to steady the nerves. No, I really didn't. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor. What? No.
She was
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head. Yeah. I wasn't sure whether... As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear a thing.
Even if this is true, weren't you worried?
War? The thought crossed my mind. Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me. I saw it...
that strange.
Yes.
Fucking hell. It's especially bad. Felt like a vengeance.
Yes, they do. The cops...
She knows that about you. She must know you feel that too.
Harry Dubois.
Did someone mention a fucked up tie?
All of this just, I don't know, sounds...
Man. If you've been to my lord, you think the biggest player in Jam...
Thought I had. She's not going to change it like that.
What bunker? Don't know anything of...
You feel something in your chest. Natural pressure. It's spreading to your left arm. Very, very bad.
Vale, creo que voy a morir.
This is the end. All you feel. Cops are...
Pues he muerto. Habrá que volver a cargar. A ver si esta vez tengo suerte y logro destruir la máquina, porque si no, me parece a mí que...
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. It's like a
I
fat
know you're feeling, but you can't say it.
voice that doesn't wish to hurt you. Not according to your brain. No, that's not going to happen.
No, I'm using...
It's blasted from that element.
Saw my...
You should probably check on you.
A pale lattice signals are relayed across the console. Precisely. At the upper limit.
She's been holed up in here for a while. No one to talk to.
Here's big thing. Not fine. I can...
She's carrying well. Just keep her talking.
Esta vez parece que lo he conseguido.
Did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again.
All good.
She looks at the machine, assessing the...
Oh, fuck it. Problem solving.
Ma'am, put...
Oh, yes it is.
No puedo equiparme nada, ¿no? Para...
She's truly desperate. You know. This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives. She pulls the trick. You watch as her brains.
Fuck. Our job. It went.
She died.
Lieutenant Yefreitor Dubois. Control your emotions. We did our job.
There is no coming back.
We are cops. Everything is our fault if we let it be. We clean up. That tent there.
Plain red tent. It was pitched, but you see a rolled up sleeping bag.
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats.
The lieutenant There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by empty cigarette packs, book magazines. You should look for assorted soft covers.
See anything?
Rager Monthly. Journal of Material Science. In pocket, the worn brown leather journal she watches by.
We should read this immediately.
A thick journal. The cover is made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand. This was important to her. The journal falls open. About the large cursive of someone who writes quickly, perhaps too confidently. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal.
We could learn a lot from this.
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code.
There could be useful information.
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones, short, wry observations of people and places. Staff issues. The first entry is from August 2nd. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though. Well, that's bound to come back and bite me in. You have no idea what she means. The most recent entry, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive. What's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not.
I don't think she killed the mercenary. It looks like she might have been framed. Too bad we didn't really get to hear her.
This whole thing was a detour, and a fatal one, he thinks.
By the Hardy Boys, by Glacier, by us. Glacier was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself, or... Either way, we need to... One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask.
Ratan! Now! Oh, you will see. First the spirits! The blue medicinal spirits! Grab the bottle and uncork it! It is time to unleash the other... But Ratan! No! Please uncork it! I can make it good again! The lifeless necktie looks like...
Seems you'll never learn the answer to that question. Could this have been the killer's hide? This does look like the lights of Martinez.
It's a great place to hide. And Machiavellianism and murder are certainly not... Indeed. No one could get a clear view. Well, at least...
The lieutenant's voice betrays his...
In fact, I think we're done with this bunker.
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It reminds you of the day you first held it. This gun, Sunrise Power. Stop. Just up. You are prepared. Don't. The barrels of your Villiers.
Yes, I hear commotion.
Good.
Ahora puede que
I'm
vuelva a
all
morir.
out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the... Put your damn gun down. Shut up.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and there's something very wrong.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened.
The Crypt is merciful. Will
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of...
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it.
He is facing overwhelmingly peaceful. Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild.
Fuck, there's the third one. How did we miss...
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all. The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
Get lost, comedian.
I think he's calmed down. No, he didn't. He's about to open fire. Oh, yes, he is.
Fuck!
Oh, people are gonna die.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and...
The wordless gurgle. The killer loads. Shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him, even if it comes to a fight. I don't know that. Peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please. Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't want personal facts about his death.
Sergeant Major,
As he moves, courting.
for killing, maiming, and humiliating our commanding officer. Our colonel did what he had to do.
In your ship!
He likes to fuck.
He was a good commander.
Oh, yeah. He would have fucking murdered him. Had him stink the village up for 2 weeks after. And you...
Listen, man. We told you we...
Told us what? Baby blue, yeah. It was creepy, but bitches like... Fuck do you mean?
We've heard testimony. People say he was charismatic. Nice guy to be around.
Yeah. If Laylee was here, he would spare the lot of you. Maybe shoot one for show.
Ready to open fire.
This one isn't used to me.
Find his killer. Come. I know what this tactic is.
Big talk, but you got him to admit he's a bad leader. It's a small thing, but it got him off.
Who the fuck is...
Glacier, the woman upstairs, where is she?
She left!
Unarmed, hunched, but keeping it together.
She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these assholes showed up!
We should have arrested her.
You can feel how upset.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one!
For God's sake, tell him the Hardys didn't do it. Present a case. A plume of smoke and fire erupts from the gun, and the smoke drifts west. His lips moving, swollen with fear, are trying to say, shoot him, shoot him. To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady, but the shot rings and you stop. Something violently tugs at your shoulder, pushing you backwards. A volcano of the pain flows.
God, please.
Then, two shots you hear a scream, but you're too hurt to see who got hit. Blood gushes from the helmet's eye socket. An unbelievable Glenn dying in a puddle of blood behind you. Oh God. Here it comes. Death. You can't. There is no time. Something inside your pelvis. The pain is too immense to scream. It pushes the air out of it. The Hardy Boys are screaming, fighting, ducking.
Stop! Stop! Protect!
Feels slick and warm with most of what's down there. You can also feel nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain. Distant shadows.
You're bleeding out. Stay with me. Yes, keep talking.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. A slender white shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising her pistol. No, you say, and hand out your firearm. That's all it takes. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant moves. You hear a faint scream, a woman's. Then the sound disappeared.
This is death. One more door, baby. One.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is he's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh, and rotting and being distant.
He can't go. There is a radio in the distance. A radio of the world.
Hours turn to days. Soon it was him. He is the infernal engine. He never stops.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double.
Sunrise, Parabellum. Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire 2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take the I mean, it's not ouch time yet. Sunrise Parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war. It's an old revolution. It served you well. The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely. Yes, we have also what happened? You shot the major in the face. Yes.
A blood-stained killer.
As retaliation, the rifleman shot you. He hit with his carabine.
He sounds a tiny bit sorry he did not find it before.
I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for...
This is not the first person.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo did not make it. They both... Yes, you were bleeding out by then. I think you said something about your wife, and you warned me.
Thank you.
I killed her. And that's what happened. Four. Glenn, Theo, Shanky, and Angus. The fat one, he took a lot. The Pole was the last to die. Everhart had their bodies returned to Connell for a funeral. Company is because we deterred them? Or Joyce did? Maybe the harbor. Maybe they are simply this is the one. All. Yes, officer. 6 people are dead.
+1.
But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the... And...
His smoking.
Pretty bad, officer. You've suffered 2 wounds. The first is below your shoulder. The second shot hit you in the thigh, the left quadriceps. No major arteries were nicked, but we will see. Not very. I have a concussion from that woman beating me with the butt of her gun. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. No.
A man and a woman sit in the front. Back to that shithole, he says.
I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site. I'm sure they are worried about you. I did. No need. Easy now. How are you?
He nods.
I honestly don't know. We can't talk to Everhart. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp. Yes, she left yesterday morning to meet the board of Wild Pines. Or that maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone. That was our job to find out, wasn't it? Honestly, I just don't know. Our circle of suspects is dead and gone. It's not a circle at all. It's a ruin. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. What? Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case. You don't have to catch everything. I don't know. That's been there for years. Yes, God cursed the footprints, not solving the case for us. Au diable. We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else? We could find thousands more if we wanted.
But they seemed so There's a little pause. He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
It really is very hard.
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
No. Are you ready? Good. Where do you...
A gust of wind blows in from the bay. The duraluminum box around you vibrates.
Why not? Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. Of course, a radical centrist. It's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. I knew we could trust you. Remember, real democracy. The bed's a little nicer now. The bathroom mirror has been wiped completely clean. You see the reflection of yourself in the mirror, the expression fixed to your clean-shaven face. The pockets of these new Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper, not familiar. The bathroom mirror has been wiped completely clean. You see the reflection of it still not happening. It won't come off that easy. These papers bear the stamp of the RCM.
I had Garth open the door to your room. You were running a low bacterial fever the first night. It would have been easy.
The medicine cabinet. Pity. Next to the stack of bills. I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. Pierre.
A gift. I am not drawing my gun. Yet.
He says he's not, but his hand moves instinctively toward his hole. Just don't walk into it.
It's hardly surprising.
see the same two neon-lit shapes. A man.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
A ray of backward motion. It suggests the bullet came from the extreme up of the island in the bay.
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point. So it is.
For a second he seems. The wind blows in from the open window. The lieutenant sighs, looking into the...
Okay, let's go to the... How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone. Ah, yes, of course. The...
See,
Crazy motherfucker. That was one hell of a shot. Hell of a shot. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, thank you.
this is big. It's as big of a thank you as Titus Hardy can muster under any circumstances.
Now, how can Dio was old? I think he'd be pretty. But Angus, he was just a stupid kid.
Here it comes. An honest tech.
And Glenn was my friend. Dennis, that poor little rat is dead too.
He didn't like him. That only makes it worse.
Well, yeah. Memento mori.
Absolutely. Today, I'm going to get drunk, eat good food, and bed a good-looking guy.
Or you might die of a heart failure. Or
Hey, fuck you for...
I guess I'll take a closer look at our union members. There's bound to be some ambitious fellows there who'd love nothing. Might even ask Tibbs if he's top. Don't know? Don't care. I'll be glad if I never...
Even after all that hell, he's still bitter about her?
Nope.
He did. He nods and takes another sip of whiskey.
Judging by the sight of you,
Yeah,
hell.
Thank you for your advice, Eugene. And
You're welcome, Bina Clark. Take care, coppers. You two look after yourselves now. Death.
Capo Loco.
Thanks for getting involved.
And if you ever feel like the uniform is holding you back,
And Titus Hardy himself would make a...
I will, Capo. That's a promise.
take it easy on the drink.
Good point, Bino Clark.
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight. This was Cindy the Scar. The lieutenant crouched.
Looks like it. Yeah, and blood.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that the fuel oil catches fire with an ominous hiss? What if the words are not written? The lieutenant is taking a small step back.
happened?
She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that...
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Ghilain. It's nothing to be worried about.
Of course. Can I help you with something? That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days. If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, just...
Of course, ma'am.
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eye.
Nothing. Just ruins.
Hasn't been there herself.
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking. The kids sometimes... Twins. God forbid they bring the girl along and some...
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place?
Be my guest. They have a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom. Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're... Please be conservative with the fuel, will you?
Yes? Excuse me? You have a...
A moment passed. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him.
On that island, that's, nothing. It's just a seaford and some plants. And we make a fire. We make a, yeah.
Bullet shells.
I don't know what they are. They're alive. The fire guy comes up. No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Because he asks to put the fire out. I don't know. Yes. I don't.
Did you mean there are...
Yes. No, he doesn't live. No, he lives there. Been there twice. He doesn't live there. He isn't.
Anything else?
I don't know. We ran. Our father didn't say that. He didn't. I'm sorry. There's
Lights. Fire guy.
A skiff. The boat's belly is a ship. Once you get in, have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your... Remember what the netpicker said. It's a small town. You won't be going back and forth on this. The skiff floats once you get in. Have you made... Remember what the netpicker said. It's a small town.
want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence. In the silence, there is very little. Let's go. Dry grass cracked, the flock of quail on the islet. There is the great ghost of the air. Is a silent hiss, the faraway roar, a low hum. Air flows out of the pillbox window, called the Mamadakwa.
Yes? It is. Is that why we are stopping?
Books and magazines, most are among what is mostly commercial.
Someone's made themselves a home.
There's a greasy old.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh.
You forced.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there. You didn't realize the blanket feels cold. You feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the sleep. Dolores Dei, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state turns around to face you. She has an airship airbag in her hand. She seems to be in a hurry.
Vale, parece que me he encontrado con otro bug. Pues nada, con este bug lo dejaré por ahí. Ya estoy cerca del final y tal, así que a lo mejor en el próximo vídeo ya lo termino. Hasta luego.